My name is Alessandra Calanchi, and my project is An Unexpected Visitor, The Man from Mars by William Simpson and his interplanetary moral code. And I will speak together with my colleague and friend, Simonetta Badioli. Simonetta and I are happy to participate again in this great event, and we are pleased to inform you that we are continuing our project focused on literary Mars exploration. We are working on an almost unknown literary production, approximately 1891 to 1911, which came before science fiction and which portrays the red planet as a utopian world inhabited by smart people who have been able to build a much better civilization than ourselves and offer to be our guides. In 2021, we spoke about unveiling a parallel by Alice Ilgenfritz-Jones and Ella Merchant, which was translated into Italian by Simonetta Badioli. Last year, we spoke about Journeys to the Planet Mars by Sarah Weiss. This year, we are going to speak about The Man from Mars by William Simpson. The Man from Mars was published in San Francisco in 1891 and subtitled His Moral, Politics, and Religion. In 1900, the third edition was undertitled Revised and Enlarged by the extended preface and chapter on women suffrage. The long preface, more than 60 pages, actually speaks of God, the Trinity, and Satan much more than Mars, and the novel is not set on the red planet. Nonetheless, as we shall see, it is astonishingly important for its and our age. The introduction opens with a first-person presentation that gives us the male protagonist's geographical coordinates. Quote, "My habitation is upon a plateau on a mountain in California," unquote. Shortly thereafter, the place is called Weird, but in the following pages, we learn that he has grown so affectionate to the place that he has moved there. He has built himself a hut with his own hands and communicates with the world mainly through books. The description that follows reminds us of Henry David Thoreau's Walden, even though it was New England. In the first chapter, the narrator tells us he has a telescope. The heavenly body which most engages my attention is, excepted our satellite, the nearest one to us, our neighboring planet, Mars. I believe that body to be inhabited by beings in many respects like those of the earth. Until one night, he writes, I looked into the night. A gentle breeze was stirring out of the west. Looking again, I descried the figure of a man, not far from my window, and strange to say, I was neither alarmed nor startled at his presence. He speaks of his face, his hair, his arms, and this person is the man, like a human being. The second chapter opens with the entrance of the stranger, a pleasant and polite person who greets the narrator as follows. My brother. My brother, he says, you have a beautiful world. That moon of yours is magnificent. And going on, do you think Mars inhabited? And the other answers, I am a good proof that it is. I am here by a process as yet unknown to you, and which may be best described in your language as reflection. I am here by reflection. That is to say, my natural body is at home on the planet which you call Mars. If reflection and refraction were already well-known concepts in scientific circles, as was telepathy among pseudoscience enthusiasts, the same cannot be said for what, from the point of view of technology, might explain the presence of the Martian in the lonely narrator's heart, namely television, because actually the fact that the man is on Mars, but his image is on the Earth, makes us think of, obviously, of television and holography. But the problem is that television was invented only in the 20s and holography in the 70s. So obviously, technology is much more advanced on Mars. This meeting could also remind us of a meeting on an electronic platform, on Meet, on Skype, on Zoom, because the man is separated from his or her image, and that was not possible at the time. The text continues with a list of areas in which Mars surpasses Earth. It has a more advanced civilization, a greater knowledge in chemistry, respect for animals, vegetarian diet, no wars, a unique religion for all the planet, so no wars, etc. As for Earth, the Martian is lapidary. You have only measured us as a planet. We, the Martians, have measured you, humans, as a people. And here we have the prophecy. In your present state, you appear to us as a world of discord, confusion, and strife, which means if you go on like that, you'll have only great catastrophes in your future. The novel continues in the patterns of typical utopian fiction, with some extraordinary passages, such as the one that follows, which clearly resonates with the American Declaration of Independence. The planet Mars is held to be the inheritance of those who are born upon it, admitting the self-evident, etc., etc., our government ages ago assumed. Of course, this self-evident reminds us of the self-evident truth that we find in the Declaration of Independence. And the second part, the capitalist regime is referred to as misgovernment, and gender and class inequalities are called relics of barbarism. As regards women, he says, your estimate of the mental capacity of women is singularly erroneous. With the enfranchisement of women, the humanities of life could enter more largely into your politics. Your legislation, in the hands of men alone, has accomplished but little alleviating the distresses of humanity. If the novel ends with a reference to the Messiah, however, the overall message of the novel sounds almost Marxian, especially in the instances where the Martian directly accuses the Earthlings, quoting humans' breathless pursuit of wealth beyond all reasonable limit. And this again reminds us of the Declaration of Independence and the pursuit of happiness, which is not the same as breathless pursuit of wealth. And now I'll give the floor to Simonetta. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Alessandra. I share the screen. So I'm going to talk about the men from Mars. In the subtitle of The Men from Mars, the author gives emphasis to morals, politics and religion, but I'm here to talk about women and the way William Simpson describes them in his novel, through the words of his character. There is an entire chapter dedicated to women, the 12th, but of course the topic appears all along the book because it's impossible to talk about morals, politics and religion without talking about women. Many utopian novels of the time condemn injustice and underline the unhappy life on our planet, at the same time suggesting a manner to give birth to a better existence for everybody. Such novels as Unveiling a Parallel or Journeys to the Planet Mars, which were the subject of our latest presentations at this convention, imagine a new world on Mars or other places on Earth where men, women, animals and vegetables are respected and taken care of. Calanchi and I insist on this matter because the lack of a general well-being and the unjust treatment of most of the individuals on our planet from economic, financial, healthcare, personal points of view are issues we can't forget and we must face before thinking of going and settle another planet, risking to make it another unhappy Earth. So why are we talking about this novel, in addition written by a man, to bring to light social and gender issues? Have we not already read or listened to everything on these subjects? Not yet. We have chosen Simpson's utopian novel just for the novelties of his ideas. Ideas displayed by a character coming from Mars, the perfect planet whose civilization is 10,000 years ahead of ours, where every living creature is related to others. There are no nations or countries or indifference for the feeling of others. In this true democracy, the Martians live as a family. The government is like a parent for the people and takes care for the community interests, where castes or classes competition are unknown. Equal opportunities of knowledge and cultivation and equality of sex, no gender issues on Mars, where the women qualities are considered indispensable for a better progress in social advancement. Let's focus on it. Women are not only wives, mothers, and caregivers, are not good only in the nursery and in the kitchen, but are evaluated indispensable for the well-being of the society. On Mars they know the value of women, and their mental capacity is kept as irreplaceable also outside the kitchen and the house. Well, Simpson goes not too far from other writers in extolling women's merits. Women are full of virtues, less corruptible and unselfish. We have already heard this rhetoric about the second half of the sky, so why is our author worth our attention after more than a century? Because in 1891 he was an excellent sociologist, ahead of his time, recognizing that, especially in lower classes, where frustration reaches the highest rate, men, more animal-like than human, act aggressively against their wives, just because they can do it, just because those women are subjected to them, defenseless, and, above all, to take the opportunity to enjoy commanding a grown person, who is obliged to obey them by law, custom, and religion. There is seldom a marriage among you without the hidden satisfaction of a man with his new entrance into authority, says the man from Mars. In 2023, where violence against women is still spread all around our planet, often for no other reason than expressing a male superiority no more allowed to men by law at last, but still by family, society, custom, and religion, reading these wise words written more than a century ago gives us the feeling that we have lost in our progress as a human race, but also that enlightened people showed us the road, and we should sooner or later follow it. The Martian character describes how on his planet married couples are linked together by a form of affinity and resemblance. Husbands and wives choose each other as in a mating dance. On Mars, men select matrimonial companions as they choose friends among themselves. Sympathy of feeling and sincerity being primary motives of attraction. He also denounces how, at this time, terrestrial women compelled to get married to gain a respected social status, protection, and material comfort, end in transforming themselves in mere breeders of men and gratifier of their animal pleasures. Even now, where many women are economically independent, their relationship with men is seldom a collaboration of two minds working as one, but more like a sex war, a modern way to live and exploit one's partner. Nowadays, the fight is for social or self-esteem, or for a sense of self-power. In the Simpson view of men and women's relationship, I see a great knowledge of psychology and the human soul years before Freud and psychoanalysis. Besides, Our Man from Mars goes beyond what has already been said by many authors about women and their political and human rights. In this novel, women are portrayed and considered in their personal sphere, and not only as a social group deserving the same rights as men. I close with a last difference between Earth and Mars involving elderly women. On the Red Planet, they don't end their life lonely or just as servants or mere secondary member in their grown-up children's family, a mere unconsidered supernumerary on the world stage. The Man from Mars accuses the terrestrial of not giving women a part in great affairs, and that women have but little knowledge of or interest in them. On Mars, on the contrary, the life of a woman goes on after being a mother and raising her children, goes beyond her traditional roles. Maternity is not allowed to absorb the whole of a woman's life, and she is encouraged in all others to which her capabilities are adapted. The female existence is full of meaning at every stage, and women play and maintain important roles also in business, politics, culture, and so on, because their minds are not confined in the house, but developed in duties requiring high attainments. The world depicted by Our Man from Mars gives us very good starting points to make our existence better, now on our planet or in the future on Mars or wherever we'll go one day. Thank you.